Good evening. Good evening. Wait, hold on. It's still light outside. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining the show. Today we again have it's going to be a really good show. We are discussing the latest developments in the Fani Willis saga. And why I say it's a saga because this thing started out as a criminal case, and now it looks like it's turned into a soap opera. And the actors in the soap opera are not only part of the criminal justice system, but they may be a part of the justice system, Justice Department. I don't know. I just have to say that this is not really good. Before I bring on my host today, I want to play a clip that was a part of an Instagram live, and reason why I'm playing this is because this happened right after the story broke yesterday.
Know why, and why would you even think that that's an option for you, Funny? Why would you even think you are in a position of authority? You're in a position of authority. The nature of the relationship, the power dynamic there is enough for you to have said, you know what? I really like you. I'm feeling you. But because of what we got going on right here, I'm going to have to put this on the back burner. Maybe this is something we can explore after this case is over, right? But the fact that you would even entertain this a personal, sexual, intimate relationship at this time on this case, just it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, and it causes. It could bring in Lawyer Bay. She disagrees.
I saw. Well, since we don't have attorney Lawyer Bay to come in to re-argue her point, we do have attorney Akeisha El Shabazz, and we have also the enchanted Crystal Jordan. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring up Crystal first. Just because Crystal she's on a time schedule, so we're gonna bring her up. Look at Crystal, got the hair done all nicely. A different look. It's a different look. It's not like you always have your hair done, but it's just a different look.
I do. I went to a ball last night, so I'm a little, we had a little different do, but yeah, Dennis, this is one of the craziest cases that we've seen in a really long time. My 74-year-old mother called me this morning.
God bless.
She called me and asked me what in the world was Fani Willis thing. Seriously, she said, "Crystal, is this true?" She just couldn't believe that, that this, and my mother lives in Denver, Colorado. My mother is not necessarily politically inclined. She's not somebody that's talking about politics all the time. So the fact that she was just overwhelmed at the fact that this woman that was in this position of power would make this type of egregious mistake said a lot to me. I was like, well, yeah, it's true. She just couldn't believe it,
Well, we know we know how a lot of people feel about this, but we know that attorney Akeisha El Shabazz, who is a former prosecutor and a two-time professor, a college professor, has voiced her opinion, and she was very passionate about it. And I think part of that is due to her actually sitting in a similar position as a prosecutor.
Right.
Without any further ado, I want to bring on attorney Akeisha El Shabazz. She's read the documents. She's here to discuss it, and I want to get her take on it as well. Hey, Ike.
Hey, what's going on, family? Can you hear me?
Hey, Akeisha.
Hey, Crystal, how are you on this good Sunday?
My button got stuck. I'm sorry.
Here we go. He's starting. Oh, you starting already?
Oh my gosh,
he's starting early on a Sunday.
So Ike, I had to play the clip yesterday. Got really passionate, heated. I didn't play the full clip, but the full clip is interesting.
I asked you not to. Thank you.
Yeah, you asked me not to.
I did.
But they still had to hear your part. You read the document. Let's talk about the response by Madam DA.
First, let me just say this. Anybody who follows me or has been following me knows that I'm passionate about this stuff, right? And so I don't want anyone to mistake my passion for anything other than that. That's all it is. I'm passionate about my people. I'm passionate about the law, and I'm passionate about the intersectionality of those two things. Okay, so that's first. Second, not even second, I just wanted to put that out there because I know sometimes I come off like, but sometimes that's what's required, right? And so I try to have a measured response for the most part. Now, when it comes to Fani Willis, my issue and what I was trying to express in the exchange I asked you to leave out was my issue with Fani Willis is that the model codes of ethics, every state code of ethics, professional ethics, which lawyers are bound by, which we are guided by, those ethics specifically and explicitly state that we are to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. Avoid even the appearance of impropriety, because what that does is it undermines the public's confidence in the justice system. We already have that happening, right? We already have people who don't trust in the system. We don't need to further undermine the public's confidence in that system by having issues like this arise. Now, I read her motion, her response. First of all, I don't know who helped her or who wrote that, but they should take my class. That's first. Second, the tone. You never should write a motion when the tone of your motion is righteous indignation. You don't have a leg to stand on here, right? And instead of being accountable, that entire thing was about deflection. And not one time did she even address the fact that this could be a violation of the ethics, the canon that says you should avoid the appearance of impropriety. Not addressed at all. Couple of things that stood out that I think made this worse. His affidavit. So he did a 3-page affidavit, which is attached to the motion response as an exhibit. In his affidavit, he lists all of his credentials, to suggest, in fact, that he is qualified. I have never questioned his qualifications. This is not about that. But in that affidavit, he also indicates that at different points in time in his career, he charged $550 an hour. He says that he initially was on the team to look for a special prosecutor to help them look for someone to do this job. Right. They couldn't find anyone. Because the pay was only $250 an hour. $250 an hour. You hear me? That's $300 less an hour than he was already getting. And that there were going to be threats and intimidation and things of that nature from the Trumpers, because you are now the special prosecutor in charge of handling this prosecution, right? So they couldn't find anyone to do the job. They then went to him and said, hey, can you do the job? He's like, no, I can't. I got my own practice. I got these judicial appointments. And then when it got exhausted and they couldn't find anyone, he relents and takes the job. What? I'm sorry, what? So you decided to take a job that you didn't want, that pays you only a fraction of what you are typically paid. And you think that we should not conclude that you only took that position because your girlfriend asked you? We shouldn't conclude that. That's not the natural and logical inference that should be drawn from that set of facts, right? So the why I asked you not to post that yesterday is because I was speaking to a young lawyer, and I have great respect for her. But her response to our argument was that she was emotional, and I get that. And I don't want any ridicule to befall her because of that. So that's why I asked you not to post it. I have an issue with that. I have an issue with the fact that she made a public comment in a church that also could be a violation of the rules of ethics, because you have to be careful of the things that you say. And it seems that the writing she submitted to the court contradicts what she said in church. In the pulpit, you're just lying in the pulpit. Oh, you going to hell with gasoline drawers on. Goddamn. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot more, and I'm sure we'll get it out, but that's just to get us started, man. That's just to get us started. So what's up, family? I got to say hi to the people in the chat. What's going on? What's going on?
So let me ask you a question. The fact that she says that her relationship started after he was hired, how significant is that? And can that be refuted? Do you believe that can be refuted by a deeper investigation?
I mean, obviously, because these things there's text messages and communications, and I guess if they want to go far back enough, they might be able to uncover something. But relationships progress, right? So you met at a convention, and let me just say, as an aside, right, as a lawyer, right, only 5% of the lawyers in America are Black. I got to say this on every podcast, every YouTube. Of that 5%, only 2% of them look like me. Only 2% of them are women, Black women attorneys, right? So I got to say that. I gotta say that. So that puts us in a very unique position. And when you're in a position of authority, all eyes are on you first and foremost. And then second, when you couple that with the fact that you are prosecuting Donald Trump, who is loved by millions of people, loved, adored, revered by millions, that you would engage in this conduct. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. I have a question for both of you guys. So because it's two different things here happening. The obviously the case that we're all concerned about, and then also his divorce proceedings that to my understanding, his wife called her
a temporary settlement, meaning that if everything is resolved as per the agreement, then that can be in 45 days could go permanent. But right now, that's still up in the air. It's not a done deal.
Well, that's what my question was, because with the relationship starting after after he was hired, I'm wondering if the proof and the evidence for the divorce proceedings are going to corroborate that.
Right.
Yeah.
which is why I surmise, right, that he settled that without the need for a hearing.
Exactly.
Let's tie this up real quick,
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't have to drag these proceedings on any further.
Because that could open up a whole nother.
No, exactly. So he was wise in that, because he didn't protect his wife. He protected Fani.
Mm-hmm.
He protected Fani. So at that point, he's like, whatever you want, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Or my ex babe, whatever you want, we gonna settle this.
And that the timing aligns with her response.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think that it makes it better that the relationship started after he was appointed. I don't know that I give a lot of credence to that. I don't know if I want to parse that out, and I want to say, what part of the relationship did it become physical after? Right? Because you had to be feeling each other. There had to be something there. Oh, I know what I wanted to say, and I got sidetracked on these conferences. They met at a conference, right? So, ladies, if you have a lawyer husband and he attends these conferences, you should go with him. That's all I'm gonna say. I've been in the game over 20 years, and I'm gonna tell you,
it goes down in the conferences.
I've been to a couple of those conferences.
Oh,
okay,
man.
Baby.
That's probably true for any profession, I would say.
That's true. Yes,
I've heard doctors.
Yes, I would.
Friends that are doctors, and they, it's stuff going on at the hospital. It's
Listen,
we get a chance to let loose,
and access,
and nobody's gonna tell, because
access is bigger than
everybody's in the wrong. Right.
hang around those bars, and after the conference is over with, it gets busy.
Yep, and everybody got a hotel room. Everybody got a hotel.
Everybody got a room.
But the reality is, though, people that work together, your work is a big part of who you are.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And I think that there's something to be said for people that share the same passion. It can happen very easily because you have access to that person. You guys are both, share a passion for this, and it could be very
passionate.
It could be an aphrodisiac in a way, but I feel like, and I said this the last time we were all together, and I appreciate you, Aikisha, for being so direct, because I said, well, I understand that because being in a work relationship, though these things happen, and you said under no circumstance should you ever, because I was like, well, maybe there's a way that she could have been more discreet. Maybe because I think this happens in politics, this happens everywhere. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be unfair to her. But I think what's a problem for me is the arrogance with which it's being handled.
Yes. Yes.
That's what's causing me to say, at the point, from a public relations standpoint, at the point that the jig is up, then we have to figure out how to appeal to the public in a way where they are receptive to you, right?
Right.
And that's not what's happening.
That's not what's happening.
The messaging was wrong coming out. The messaging was wrong. And if I was advising her, I would have said, get in front of it. And by getting in front of it, admit right away.
Take accountability, and then you can pivot. You cannot pivot before you have taken accountability for what you've done. And I also have a problem with, like Aikisha said, for her, the statement that she made in the church on Martin Luther King weekend was insulting.
They were friends. They were good friends.
But not only that, but she tried to play the race card.
Yep.
And accuse the people that were calling her out of playing the race card. And that, to me, it was a complete opposite, a contradiction of her taking accountability and admitting wrong. So she basically was well, it was a lie. It was
right.
I can't even make it to where it was like it's semantics, because it was just not true. And she did it with such passion and such arrogance that it makes it difficult to feel empathy for her in this situation now that it's come out. Right. And it also makes me believe that, from what I've heard, his quickly wanting to settle the divorce is probably because there's more there that they do not want to come out. And if that, because you know how divorce proceedings are totally different, it's going to go a total different way.
Right.
And the wife probably has information that would definitely make this a lot worse for both of them. So,
and to your point, Crystal, his wife, Judith Wade's wife's attorney, said that the only reason why they released the credit card statement was because of what Fani had said, and she was, I won't say disparaging the wife, but she was disparaging the wife. The wife, she said the wife cheated with the husband's good friend. So the lawyer said, "Wait a minute, let me go into this treasure trove of information, grab this one little thing out."
The nerve,
you never put the whole treasure trove out.
She's the queen of deflection at this point, right? It's like, hey, don't look over here, look over there, look over there, and that is a pattern of intellectual disingenuousness, if that's the word. Or I think we called her. I think I called her statement in the church intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, definitely.
Couching your relationship as good friends when you know, in fact, that there's more than that. I have an issue with the fact that in his affidavit, he starts saying things about how he didn't spend any money on her, or the money that he made, he didn't spend on her. Like, okay, so the money that you're making from this job is in a separate account somewhere, that you're making sure you're not commingling the funds when you spend money on Fani. So if you use a credit card, you make sure you don't pay that credit card off with the salary you receive from over there. You got to use the money. Which still shows that you know that what you're doing is exactly right. That's exactly right. That's when we start thinking about what's in your mind. The scienta, the mens rea. We start thinking. So the reason that you are separating these things is because you know that
does
there is
something
the
wrong.
possibility that
Right.
this appears improper. It appears improper, and you know that.
Mhm.
And I
You
have to
know it.
say, these are good attorneys, Fani and Wade's are good attorneys, but Steve Sadow honed in on the church speech, and that's Donald Trump's attorney. He hadn't joined in on the initial Michael Roman motion, but after she went to the church and she said
Right.
what she said, he went in.
As he should have.
Yes.
Like this is the thing. I think that people get caught up, and that's what she was trying to do. And that's what we talked about the last time. You mentioned
Yes.
intellectual, disingenuous behavior. It's like you are playing on the emotion of the Black church. You are playing on that. You know that this what you are saying would not work in any other audience. You are
Yep.
speaking specifically, and you're being disingenuous because you're trying to play on the emotions of the people in the church on this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the victim. Yeah.
That was a horrible, and his attorneys absolutely should do that. And this is not about race.
So
This
not about race.
not
It's
about
so
race.
not about race. Like if this
Oh,
was a
Crystal.
white woman, if this was a white woman prosecuting a Black president, let's flip it. Let's say this was a white prosecutor who was prosecuting Obama,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
What would we be saying about her if it was found out that she was sleeping with the special prosecutor?
Would be
We
going
would be tearing her ass up.
tearing her up. And on top of that, this is a Black woman who was involved with a Black man while he was still married. I don't
Married.
care what the marriage was. And she tried to throw his
Wife under the bus.
who is the victim of that situation. I don't care about what the marriage was not over. She tried to throw her under the bus. So it's like if you want to play the race card, then dear sis, you have to have some empathy for the fact that you are inserting yourself in this marriage until the marriage has been dissolved, that they are still legally married.
I also think it's an ethical violation for her to threaten to charge the wife with interfering in the prosecution, right? That is a misuse of your office and an abuse of power.
Absolutely.
And the lawyers,
Another.
her lawyers spoke on that as well. She said, "Wait a minute." She said it. She said, "Is the prosecutor trying to intimidate my client?"
Exactly.
Right. You can't do that. You can't. These things
You
are so
can't- you can't-
unrelated.
You can't play the race card when it's convenient for your argument and then turn around and try to do something in it extra, like, and then use your power over here. Like, it's just so many contradictions in what she's doing that at this point, I can't imagine. I just don't imagine how she would be able to move forward. I feel like she needs to remove herself from this.
I agree. I think what we were talking about earlier, if she had come out and got in front of it, just fall on the sword.
Exactly.
Fall on the sword.
Right
Just
away.
come to us and say, you know what? We had no intentions, but we worked closely together and feelings developed.
Mhm.
And it developed into a romantic relationship against my better judgment. I fell in love. And we tried to make sure, or we took great steps to ensure that there was no crossover, you could have done that.
You could have done it. I feel like that was the only thing that she could have done. And especially if you care about the case, if you are as passionate as you have claimed, because she was going after this case, and it was so the way she spoke with such confidence and such passion. If you really care about the right thing happening when it comes to the Trump situation, then the best thing for you to do would to have been immediately accept and take accountability so that the focus stays on the case and not on
and not you. And that's a great point, Crystal, because she argues in her motion that there is no financial gain for her if Trump wins or loses.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not about financial gain. This is about your reputation. This is about backing up the statements you've made in the past about how you were going to prosecute. And certainly you do want to win this case, don't you? And are we to think that your boyfriend doesn't want to win it for you? That he doesn't have some vested interest in making sure he doesn't embarrass the fuck out of you by losing this case? There is a personal incentive for him to go hard.
Yeah.
That would cause me some concern as a defense attorney.
Personal incentive for him to go hard. I'm sure it is.
No pun intended. No pun intended. I need you to grow up. What are you, 3?
I just want to talk about the this incentive. He is the special prosecutor being paid this amount of money. The first time she appears in court with him, she argues a revocation hearing when he's paid this amount of money. Why did she need to argue it? I'm still puzzled about that. Why did she have to even come to court to argue the revocation of Harrison Floyd when he's the most qualified based on their account and based on him getting that position? I don't understand why she came in to argue that at that point. Now it seems like
she probably knows where this is going. That's another thing. Her movements are. She probably knows that there is more to uncover there. When you first pulled up the statements and what he was paid and how he was billing his app, there's more there. I'm certain if they keep digging, there's going to be more there. So it's almost like she tried to defend what she knows is going to be a problem down the line, but we haven't even taken you haven't even gotten us off the path right in the beginning. Like, stop with take accountability and stop the bleeding, because if they keep going down this rabbit hole, I'm sure more is going to come out.
Yeah. So one of the things
I don't think you answered the question, and this is for Ike. You're an attorney.
Yes.
If this guy's so qualified, and we're going to hone in on his qualifications. If he's so qualified, why could he argue that revocation? What was the point of showing up in court?
I cannot answer that. I absolutely cannot answer that. I have no idea. Because technically, if he's the special prosecutor, he's appointed to handle this case. He's first chair, as we would say, right? So to speak, right? And you've got all these other attorneys and associates and paralegals who support you. I have no idea, unless it was just, one of those things that sometimes to impress upon the court how serious this is. Okay. The head of the office is coming down, right? So maybe that's the only thing I could think. It's like, this is so important. I'm coming out of my office for it, right?
So as I was taking the pictures and I was watching them at the prosecution's table, and he almost looked like he was being son. You know the term son? Like, you sonning me right now. This is my job. What are you up here? She was sonning her own special pick.
It makes sense because she could son him because she was, there was a familiarity.
I didn't know this at the time.
I've got to run for a second, but I'm going to be back. I'll be back. I'm going to run.
All right. So you know what it is? The other thing he said, the other thing in her motion and was belied, I guess, by his affidavit. They say things like they don't live together. They've never cohabitated. They don't, he doesn't buy food or whatever, go through the whole list of things. But I'm like, yet.
She got a cheap boyfriend then.
But yet, right? Because if this is progressing naturally, right, and you expect this relationship to go somewhere, then eventually, right, you all might be living together. And then you will be benefiting. Who knows how long this prosecution is going to last?
Man, you tell me he didn't take to Atlanta Fish Market. He didn't. Come on now. You had to buy Madam G some lobster. Now, come on.
Look,
you didn't make her pay for that.
Focus, Dennis. Who knows how long this prosecution is going to last? Right? We might be years into this. So are y'all only going to casually date? Are you going to make sure that you never cohabitate? Are you going to, you know what I mean? That is too hard to maintain. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable if it's a serious relationship. And I would imagine it's a serious relationship, because if it's not, why are you telling us about it? If y'all just, bumping uglies, why we got to know? Right. I'm imagining that this is something real, that eventually you will benefit from the fact that he's made over $1 million with this job.
I don't know if you're aware, but in March, the district attorney has to qualify for the election coming in at the end of the year. So she's up for election now.
Oh, wow.
She's up for election now.
Good luck with that.
How do you think this will impact her chances of being reelected?
It depends on who runs against her. I think if she gets a serious candidate, then she's going to have some issues. If she gets a serious candidate right, who can challenge her on some of these issues, I think she's going to have an issue. I really do. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a given that she gets this that she gets reelected. Let me move my camera over.
Do you have any issues about DA Wade's Special Prosecutor Wade's visit to the White House? And because people are making an issue with that as well.
Right. Of course, because and I think we addressed this on the first time we came on, because all along Fani has been saying that this prosecution is not been there's been no cooperation with the White House, right? Because obviously you want to make sure that, again, there's no appearance, right, of impropriety. There's no appearance that this is a politically motivated prosecution. So you want to make sure that there's enough separation, whether a Chinese wall or whatever may have you, but there's enough separation between these entities so it doesn't appear that you are working with the White House in connection with this prosecution. So the fact that he visited the White House, what are y'all having? What kind of discussions are you having? You know what I mean? Like, this is a problem. And I get that, yes, we do form these relationships with people we work closely with, but a lot of that is trauma bonding. A lot of it is a trauma bond, right? Because, you're in this profession and you leave court holding your ankles the same way I do, and you understand the allostatic burdens that I carry. And so you can appreciate some of my stress. I appreciate yours. That develops into, romance, romantic gestures and things of that nature. I get it. But you got to be disciplined. You got to have some discipline to say, just not right now. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. And sometimes you just got to wait. Sometimes you got to pass up on an opportunity, right? Sometimes you got to say, you know what? That would have been good, but the blowback on us having a relationship would not be worth it. It would not be worth both of our careers or our reputation in the public, right? So let's wait.
In the exhibits, there was a picture of Ashley Merchant, the attorney representing Michael Roman, included, and she appears to be wearing a Wade supporting shirt.
T-shirt. Yes.
What do you think? What you trying to imply there?
I don't care what you're trying to imply. I think that argument backfires, right? So her argument was that, this attorney who is coming for me used to support him in his political campaign. She gave him money for his political campaigns. So her arguments can be valid now? Okay.
Is she trying to imply that Ashley Merchant is scorned?
Huh?
You think she's implying that Ashley may be scorned? Maybe she's been interested in the Michael.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think so. I don't think so. But what it says to me is that this woman doesn't have an axe to grind, because she genuinely supported this man at one point. She touted his credentials and things of that nature. So the fact that she has a problem with what's happening only, to me, gives credence to what she's saying, because she has been following him. She has been a supporter of his. It's not like she doesn't know him.
Right. And her job is, her fiduciary is to her client. She's representing Michael Roman. And if she sees something,
she has a responsibility to say something.
Right. Yeah.
So that argument, it for me, fell on deaf ears. Yeah.
What else stuck out for you? Because there was so much that she tried. It was so, they put it, insert his, his qualification. We don't have a doubt that this guy's qualified to a certain degree. But I think you made another point. What happens if these two fall out in a relationship? How will that impact the case? If
we were talking off
screw you. Let's screw the case.
Right.
Then the taxpayers get screwed.
So one of the things that, why employers frown upon, relationships in the workplace is because when they go south, it tends to sour the atmosphere in the workplace. And it also then makes the workplace ripe for a hostile work environment claim, right? You're setting yourself up for that. So if this relationship goes sour, right? Then what happens to the case?
Right.
Is he still going to be as diligent as he was, or is he like, now, you know what? Fuck that bitch. I can't stand her, and I'm gonna lose this case and make you look stupid. I don't know. You know how petty people could be when matters of the heart are on the line.
Right.
Right. So that's another reason why you shouldn't be involved with someone like that during this type of proceeding. Right. Because
he's the lead on this case. He's a special prosecutor.
Yes.
So,
this is what I'm saying. So
right.
It's just
Jack Smith is the special prosecutor in the federal case. No one's stepping in front of him to argue,
to make arguments. That's correct. Right.
So he's the lead. So it just
it is odd. That is odd. But I mean, you know, she's entitled to show up. Right. She's entitled to show up, and you know, she's got this air about her. I perceive, right, because I don't know her personally, but she's got this air about her that when she shows up, it matters.
So am I wearing
a little self-absorbed, if you ask me. What'd you say?
Someone's asking if I'm wearing the members only. I don't think so, but I'll check the label after I get off. Okay.
Who coming for you in your members
only? I don't know.
That is too funny.
I didn't know I owned one. I just put a jacket on. I'm gonna check the label now. I'll get back to you on that.
Why you're not a member? You the president.
Right. Exactly. Right.
All right, let's see. She should have known she was under the microscope. Of course she's under the microscope. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Disappointed in this discovery. Right. I think a lot of people were disappointed. And her attitude doesn't make me feel better about being disappointed. You know, it only furthers my disappointment. When I look at her responses, the fact that you were quiet for so long, that is out of character for you, right? We've seen how you have responded in the media. You are not one to say, I have no comment at this time. That's not your game, baby. That's not your game. So the fact that you did that in this case gave me pause right away. And instead of addressing the allegations head on, you decided to do a speech at a church. I have an issue with that.
Do you think that the supporters, her supporters, especially in the Black community, are going to waver now, or do you think that they just want to just see this thing played out? Because a lot of people say, "What does it really matter? What does it really matter that she had, you know, a relationship with, you know, she has a right to have a relationship." But I don't know if they understand the.
Well, that's why we're doing this, and I think I've laid out a number of reasons why this relationship is improper and inappropriate at this time. Right? I'm qualifying that by saying at this time. Later, this case is over. You're not prosecuting. He's not the special prosecutor on the case you appointed him on. That is a highly publicized trial.
Let me correct myself. Our community. Let me correct myself. Our community.
Yes. Our community. I love our community. Often we are led by our emotions. Often. Right. And so I want to caution us. I say this all the time. Manage your expectations so you manage your disappointments. We deal with facts over feelings. Okay. And we cannot look at this emotionally. We have to look at this objectively, not subjectively. And we cannot engage in the whataboutisms because that doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for us. The argument that, white people are allowed to do X, Y, and Z falls flat. It absolutely has no weight, no bearing whatsoever on the conduct of Black people. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, that's fine.
My son, the general, and I'm gonna his comment. He had posted you know who my son is, correct?
I do know who my son is. I don't know him personally. Let me say that first. But you know, I know of him.
I want to pull his comment up. And I'm
not going to take issue with the fact that you're pulling up this person's comment as if he is in a leading authority on anything. Let me just say that. No disrespect to this person, but this is the problem that we have in our community, is that when we are looking for thought leaders, we
Right.
pull up people like my son. I'm sorry. Now, he's not a thought leader for me. He could never be a thought leader for me. Just not. So go ahead and play what you want to say.
Listen,
but
listen,
there's
with
got
that,
to be.
I'm not going to pull his comment up.
No, pull it up, because we should discuss it, because he does have a following. And that's the problem, unfortunately, is that the people who have the followings don't have the information. You know, they don't have the information, or they don't have the tertiary knowledge to speak on a thing, right? They don't have the educational background, training, and or experience to intelligently speak on a thing, right? So go ahead, put up his comment. Let's hear what he got to say.
Let's see what he says here. Hold on here. My son. Okay, so I'm going to say that he might have been commenting on someone else's platform, because it's not here. But he basically said that what is wrong with, what does it have to do with Trump violating the law? What does that have to do with Trump allegedly committing these acts and his co-defendants? Does that still does that make the case weaker to prosecute him? Can another jurisdiction prosecute him, so to speak? Does it really make the case any weaker?
So it has the potential to make the case weaker if a potential pool of jurors does not have faith in the system that this prosecution was brought properly. That answer your question?
Yeah, that did. That actually did.
Okay, because people are paying attention to this, regular lay people. And when they pull them to the jury, if they've been following this case and they don't have any confidence, right, that this case was properly brought before it, then no matter what is presented as evidence, it will be nullified, right? It would be a jury nullification situation where you'll have just one juror who is like, yeah, no, I'm not about to vote guilty on this bullshit. Because it only takes one. You need a unanimous verdict here in the United States for guilt or innocence. And it only takes one juror who is like whatchamacallit's mom, who lives in Colorado, who's just watching this, who's just disappointed. And she gets the jury ballot and she's like, I read about this. I don't feel good about it. Maybe she doesn't want to be a juror, right? So now not only have you tainted the jury pool, you've shrunken the jury pool. This has a huge impact. And yes, it can weaken the case. And that's only one aspect. There are many aspects of how this can affect that prosecution, right? Because delay. So now if they have to be removed, now we got to get a whole new prosecution team. Do you know how much discovery is in this case? Do you know how long? They said 75 witnesses or so testified in the grand jury on this case, right? So a new prosecutor would have to come up to speed, read all of those transcripts from all of those grand jury proceedings to familiarize themselves. Do you know the delay that would occasion? Do you know that a defendant is entitled to a speedy trial in our country? Right. That's another issue. So I could go on with the issues all day. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure these 4 defendants who have taken pleas already may have this question as well, Attorney Shabazz.
Say that again.
The 4 defendants who have taken pleas already in this case, what happens if the judge and or whatever body decides that this case is bogus, this case got to be dismissed? What about the 4 people that took pleas? Can they now rescind their pleas?
They could make a motion to withdraw their pleas, I'm sure. They can make a motion to it. It probably would not be successful. And I'm going to tell you why. Typically, when you take a plea, the judge goes through an entire soliloquy, right? It's a litany of questions to make sure, one, that you understand what you are doing, right? That you are acknowledging that you committed a crime. So you have to do something called allocute. And allocution is when you factually are admitting to your role in the crime. You do that knowingly, you do that willingly, and you do that without any exchange, any benefit, any exchange, right? So you're doing that of your own will and volition, right? And so you admit your guilt. The fact that this case might later be dismissed for another defendant has nothing to do with you. That's like saying if they go, could they get their pleas back if these people were acquitted?
Right.
No.
So they
Absolutely not.
They might have jumped the gun, or they might have jumped the gun, or take
Exactly. Well, I mean,
at least two,
you want to hang
two
out.
are attorneys. At least two,
Right.
3 of them are attorneys. That took place.
Right. Which would it was mind-boggling to me that they pled guilty so quickly. I was like, what's the rush? What's going on?
Well, we'll see.
This case is not even moving. Why y'all? But this is, again, let me just say this. Oftentimes, these people are represented by people who are not criminal defense attorneys in their practice. You know what I mean? They do other things, corporate law, litigation, right? And a lot of people confuse litigation attorneys with trial attorneys. We are not the same. We are not the same, right? I'm not a litigator. I'm a trial lawyer.
A big difference.
I don't push paper.
Right.
Okay. So
you go if it's a opportunity to negotiate, that's one thing. But your goal is to fight. You're going in there.
I mean, of course, my goal is to get the best outcome for my client, whatever that may be. It's never about me. As much as I love to be in front of a jury talking my shit, right? That's never about me. Right. It's never about me.
Whew, a lot to unpack, and it's just is in the next. I would say next 7 that February 15th hearing is going to be very interesting.
Yes, because I do think this judge is going to order a hearing.
He's done that already. He's already ordered.
He did. So we're having a hearing on the
February 15th.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's
February
lovely.
15th. People flying.
I thought they were arguing on the 15th about whether or not there should be a hearing.
No, he ordered a hearing. Because if you look at her in the her response, she says there's no need for a hearing based on She says
So that's why I didn't think the judge ordered it yet.
No, he ordered it.
Still arguing.
No, he ordered it, but
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not. I need empirical evidence. I need empirical evidence. I deal with facts, not feelings. So if you can show me an order where it says the judge has ordered a hearing, then I will be happy to acquiesce that point.
Yes. She's been subpoenaed for this hearing as well. She's been subpoenaed for the hearing. Her and Wade has been subpoenaed for this particular hearing. They've been served for the hearing. Take my word.
Okay. I'm gonna take your word for it, and I expect some good reporting, some good some journalistic.
I think I need to show up. I'm definitely a part of the pool, so I will be recording.
Please, you got to be there because I don't trust. I don't trust these other media outlets.
Well, see, real. That's big. Listen, I don't have the sound effect, but I want to clap and thank you for that. Thank you for that. Crystal, she's just texted me. She'll be right back. She wanted to. She's helping a junior reporter with a upcoming.
Awesome.
So let's look at some of the questions.
Sure. Let's take some questions while we can. I think we got a few more minutes.
Yeah. Let's go. Who do we have? You have someone on here? I got a bunch of people over here. We're talking about my tight jacket too. Oh, no, that person. So okay.
Did she grope a guy in a public theater? What?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Okay, Blacks for RFK says the Thursday order from Fulton County Superior Judge Scott McAfee sets a February 15 hearing for a motion filed by former Trump campaign. Right, a hearing on the motion does not mean that he granted a hearing. A hearing on a motion means that he will hear oral arguments on whether or not he should hold a hearing. Yeah.
So it's a February 15th hearing for a motion filed by the former Trump campaign official, Mike Roman.
Right. So that means that he is going to hear Hear them on the motion for.
But it's a hearing motion, a motion hearing. That's what it is.
But
it's a motion hearing.
I want to distinguish that between if the court was to order a hearing right after this, that would mean we are going to have a separate proceeding where witnesses will be called and put into the box and sworn and give testimony. That is not what I think is going to happen on the 15th. On the 15th, I think they are going to argue their positions as to why that later proceeding I just described should happen or should not happen. Now, we'll see on the 15th if I'm right or not. Okay. I mean,
yeah.
How often am I wrong, Dennis, though?
Not really.
When it comes to this shit here.
Very rarely, but in light of the fact that I'm on top of these documents because I'm a part of it.
Okay, we'll see. I'll be curious, though. We'll see. Either way, we need to be tuned in because I want to hear what the arguments are.
I'm going to have to fly you out until it comes to the hearing.
You going to flude me out? You going to flude me out?
Hold on. We're about to start. Listen. Don't Fani Willis me now.
Dennis, can you get me appointed on some cases down there in Florida? I'll take you on a cruise.
Oh, Florida.
Georgia. I'm in Georgia.
She's already trying to take me out.
Right? I need you to call Mr. Steele. Call Steele because I need on the YSL trial.
Brian's probably watching this. We know. Shout out to the other
Holla, Brian. Brian, call me. Even if you just so I could be on the text with you, right? Because that
Attorney West
that dropping Jules argument on that 105 on the Rule 105, brother. I was like, is he seriously not going to cite some cases? But I'm glad you came back. If he's watching, I'm glad he came back with some cases, the Morales case, and actually citing the statute because you can argue emotionally, you can argue vigorously, you can argue strenuously. But if you don't have the law, then your arguments will fall on Judge Glanville's deaf ears. And that's what happened. And that's what's been happening up until last week when we actually saw them show up with some law, 105 and 106. And I'm like, yes, thank you. It's right there. And the other side of that, just as an aside, you know what? I felt like surely Judge Glanville knows the law on this issue. Surely he knows the law on the rule of completeness.
Yeah, he's a smart judge now.
Of course, he's a smart judge. He's the chief judge, right? And so I felt it really odd that he ruled that way, right? Even because unless he really didn't know the law, and it seems like he wasn't familiar with the Morales case when Steele cited it, and maybe he wasn't familiar with how Georgia handles the rule of completeness. Because it's built in the statute, within the statute. And we read the statute for its plain meaning, its plain language. You don't have to do any interpretation. The statute says you can enter in a defendant's statements to rebut statements, right? I'm paraphrasing. And that hearsay is not a defense.
Look at who the cat that drug in.
Pam! What's up, Pam? You got to have your authority. Yes, Pam. You got to have your authority. What's going on? He cited the law and Glanville still shot it down. Lamar, he didn't cite the law that day. The first day when they were putting in the lyrics, he didn't cite any law. His 15-minute stand, he said rule of completeness, but he did not cite the statute for rule of completeness, and he did not cite any cases that explain or elucidate the statute for the judge, for the court. I was listening, I was paying attention, and I teach evidence. So, I was like, I let him jump to the screen like, come on. So.
Well, hopefully tomorrow will be much more smoother than last week because the jurors came in, they went back home, they had a long lunch break.
Oh my goodness. I feel for these jurors. I feel for them just the financial cost of coming back and forth to court and maybe buying lunch if they're not bringing their own lunch, buying lunch every day, spending all day, some days not having any testimony. That day they came in late, then they went and took an early lunch, like an hour and a half lunch, then they came back and then they were sent home. That's got to be very frustrating for jurors. Got to be. And I know the judge is very concerned about that. All judges. I've never met a judge who is not primarily concerned with having a jury waiting.
An unhappy jury will, definitely give you an unfavorable verdict.
Now, I don't think that'll happen. I think that they might not come back. People start getting COVID. I got COVID. Right?
I didn't even think about that.
Of course you did. That's why I'm here, Dennis. That is why I'm here. I have heard all of the juror excuses that there could be. I've heard them all. You do this long enough, you hear the craziest things people will do or say to get off of jury duty. And you push these jurors, they ain't no killers, but don't push them. Right?
Don't push them and feed them. I think the jurors at this point they need to be fed. You spend $20,000 on paper supplies, feed the jurors.
Yeah, at the least. At the least. I mean, typically what happens is jurors, once they are deliberating, then they get lunch during deliberations. But
Star has a question. That's a good question, Star.
Okay, that's good.
There was a hearing scheduled for this past Friday, where the judge, not the judge, but the prosecutor, as well as the attorneys representing the media, were going to argue whether or not cameras should be removed. We received on Friday a proposed. I think I shared with you the proposed order, and it hasn't. I can't really go into the details because it hasn't been signed off by a judge yet. It was only one issue I had, and that was about the live chat issue, the live chat of playing, editing derogatory or intimidating comments in the live chat. And I thought it was kind of hard to control that. My thought would be to just turn off the chat if the media outlets that are approved, the pool outlets that are approved, will turn off their chat for a period of time. So anyone trying to dox and or intimidate any of the witnesses, it won't show up in the chat. And then afterwards, once the video ends, then they can just go ahead and delete it. But we'll see. We have a February 8th hearing on it. It's another hearing, and the judge will make a determination. It may be by consent. I think it's going to be by consent because we're pretty much there. The media is pretty much there. So cameras will still be on in the courtroom. Just certain witnesses, and they have to articulate the particular witness's fear or threat. Correct, Ike, from your proposal?
Yes. Yeah. So it looks like there is a concern, right, that maybe witnesses might face reprisals or threats or things of that nature for being witnesses in this case. And so the prosecution is seeking to have some of those witnesses appear by audio only to the public. And I think that if it is a real fear, not speculation or conjecture, that they can demonstrate, then of course someone's identity should be protected. But I don't know if they can meet that bar. I don't know if they can meet the bar that someone has a particularized fear, right? Not just a general fear that I don't want to be seen. And I don't think a general fear is going to be enough. I like that if there is a fear, it has to be articulated and shared with the defense so that they can have, some response on whether or not they think this is a real bona fide concern or not. But
I think Trontavious Stevens, he was on the stand a long time, and he said a lot of stuff.
And he sure did.
At risk, it would definitely be him.
It would definitely have been him. Correct. And the fact that the prosecution, I don't know, did they even attempt to have his testimony shielded, to have his face, I should say, shielded during his testimony? No. And so why would you do it now? Or are you low key telling us that the lives of your cop witnesses are more important than the lives of your lay people witnesses?
And I think even with Detective Belknap, he was shown on camera already It's no reason for him not to continue to be on camera, because if you're doing that, then it kind of is a slap in the face to the lay witnesses that are testifying. We see
exactly.
now. People can just Google his testimony. So why would the cameras need to be turned off? Just don't do it because he's a member of the law enforcement. He's a gang expert. No one thought beforehand that if you wanted to not have him shown on camera, you should have said that in the very beginning.
Agreed.
It's too late. So
I agree. I agree, because whatever harm he is trying to shield himself from has already occurred. It's already occurred. You're already out there.
Who else will come in? Birdman? Who else needs to be protected? Like I'm maybe a crime victim.
I feel like if Birdman testifies, he's not going to ask for them to shield his identity. He's going to want people to know that he's there, whether he's subpoenaed and there unwillingly, or if he's there testifying of his own accord. Either way, he's going to want people to know. One, because I'm sure he's going to want people to hear what he has to say, especially as it relates to rappers being charged for their lyrics.
Absolutely.
Right.
You and I spoke before we go finish the media issue.
Eric Nielsen?
Attorney Still.
Attorney
Still said in open court last week, he said, Your Honor, while they appreciate the media fighting for their rights, our clients have rights too, as far as it relates to the media being in the courtroom.
Absolutely.
No one's talking to us.
Right.
So they're right.
They are right. You have a right to a public trial. It's a constitutional guarantee.
Right.
So yeah. I think sometimes you got to remind the court of these things, because at times it looks like Judge Glanville's allowing Miss Love to run roughshod, and at times it seems like she's not even aware that she's not the judge.
Right. Well, I think he checked the last week. Don't shake your head. What do you shake your head for? Don't shake your head.
Oh, I missed that.
So she was shaking her head while her co-counsel was Hilton was arguing in front of the judge. So the judge is looking at her, but she's sitting at the prosecution table shaking her head. Judge looks at her, don't shake your head. I run this show.
My question is why are you looking at her while I'm arguing? Why is your focus over there, Judge? I'm talking to you.
Don't start. Listen, don't put no Fani Willis cases.
I got issues, man. I got issues. We need to call Roman's lawyer and ask them to look into this shit right here.
I'm not touching that one. Ladies and gentlemen, please be my witness. I ain't touching that. I ain't got no issues. Listen, Judge Glanville, we good over here. Thanks for signing my order. We good.
Listen, when I told you before how I felt about the manner in which he checked her the last time, right? When I think he said something to her and they were trying to come up with a compromise, and he said, do it this way or something. Are you happy? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, of course you're not happy. You're never happy. Right? Remember that comment? And I was like, oh, that's some shit husbands say to wives. That's what boyfriends say to girlfriends. That's what you say to your intimate partner who you know well.
Judge Glanville, that's her words, not mine.
Those are my words, and that's my opinion, based on my training experience and past relationships, right? Because I've had a couple of people say that to me. You ain't never satisfied. Maybe you're just like your mother. She never satisfied.
Woo! I tell you, Prosecutor Love looked at me last week like, oh, you back?
Listen, I'm coming down once school is over. When school is over, the law school ends May and undergrad ends the end of May. I should be free by like June 1. June 1, I'm down there.
We should be at witness 75 by then.
But I hope. I don't know. I doubt it. What we at witness what? 4, 5? No. What we up to?
No.
We a little further than that. Maybe 10.
We ain't past 20. I'll tell you that much.
Well, we damn sure ain't past 20.
No.
Trontavia Stevens likely will be recalled after the court revisits its ruling on the 105 They're going to recall Trontavia Stevens, likely so that Steele can play the entirety of Dropping Jewels, or at least enter the entirety of the lyrics of Dropping Jewels. So he's going to come back for that.
Is it safe to say that Stevens is a star witness for the prosecution?
I don't want to say that yet.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that they have other co-defendants that are going to come and testify. Listen, they're in this RICO, one of the overt acts is a murder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he didn't talk about that.
And that's Shannon Stillwell.
But I don't remember Trontavia Stevens saying anything about that overt act, right? So somebody else has to come in and testify about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that I'm waiting for the real teeth. Right. The real teeth, because so far I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any connection of these so-called, what I say so-called overt acts, these old, already charged, already dismissed, and or resolved cases of these people. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Do you think the case is going too slow?
Yes. I think it's painfully slow. I think Judge Glanville's process is slow. But I mean, some judges are just that way. You know, they're methodical, they're meticulous. And that's just they are. There are other judges who are like, snap it up, kids. Snap it up, kids. And then anybody who practices federal court in the Southern District knows exactly which judge I'm talking about. But there are judges who are sticklers for time. When I say time certain, be here at 9:30 on the dot. That's how federal court works. I often tell my students federal court is where the real lawyers practice, right? Because they don't play any games. You're not coming in here late. If you come in here late, they're going to tag your ass. Okay.
No, covered a federal case where it didn't start on time. It was like
exactly.
It's so quiet in federal court. It's like,
and there are no comfort breaks.
No, comfort break.
There are no comfort breaks. There's a bathroom break, and that's 5 minutes, and it's really 5 minutes.
Right.
It is not a 5 minutes that turns into 20. It is not a 15-minute break that turns into an hour. None of that, right? Because judicial efficiency is paramount. It's paramount. You know that you have a jury who is sitting here who has agreed to come and be on this trial for a specific period of time. And if this trial takes longer than that period of time, you run the risk of losing your jurors. Mm-hmm. They haven't promised you that they would be here longer than they agreed, right? And so the unnecessary delay that we continue to see, these arguments that should have been had either in limine or pre-trial that keep coming up, that are delaying the trial, if that continues to happen, you're going to start losing jurors. Now, I know you have, what, do they have 6 alternates?
6, yep.
They got 6 alternates, so they could play a little.
We lost one juror.
Did they lose one already?
I thought we lost a juror.
I don't know. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I think we lost one juror.
I think I remember
that.
Yes, I do. So we lost one already, right? So now we're down to 5 alternates. And you know what happens if
those other two that was blasting all over the internet.
All over, so right? Who knows? I don't know. There are so many things that could happen in a trial that could affect whether or not there was any finality. And this trial is ripe for all of them. Mm-hmm. All of them. You know, and so like I said, I know a lot of people who are like, if I was a juror, I would be sick. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sick. I got COVID. What are they gonna do if you got COVID? They're not gonna stop the trial for 10 days or 5 days or whatever the recommended quarantine is now.
Why wouldn't they? They did it already when it was a stabbing. They stopped it for.
But he's a defendant. He's a necessary person. Has to be there. They can't proceed without him. Mm-hmm. Right? Defendants have a right to be present at every material stage of their trial.
Right.
That's the law. You have a constitutional right to be present. So they couldn't go forward. In order for him to go forward, he would have had to have severed Shannon Stillwell's case. And I'm sure that was not desirable. Right. But
especially with the 2 bodies.
We're not waiting for jurors now when we got other jurors who can replace them.
And right. I think that Doug would even be in a better position if Stillwell's case was severed because he's the one with the body.
It wouldn't matter because they're charged in a RICO.
Oh, that's
right. So this is a conspiracy everybody's in for a penny, in for a pound. Doesn't matter if I did not participate in that particular overt act. If it was done in furtherance of the conspiracy or furtherance of the gang, then you are criminally liable for it. So that's how that works.
Powerful.
Anytime.
Is there anyone who want to come up now to discuss? I'm gonna drop the link right now, and we'll bring one or two of you up, and we can discuss this. So be ready for the link. The link has been posted, and Nike, if you have someone on your end that wants to come up, they can come up and ask questions of myself or Attorney Shabazz. This is your opportunity. This is your time. This is your time to shine. Let's go. Click on the link.
While you do that, I'm gonna check Facebook. See if there's any comments there.
While you do that, I'm going to give people 30 seconds. This is a 30-second, not a comfort break, but 30 seconds for you to smash.
Shout out to the Little Gaming channel. Thank you for your Cash App. I so appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. I love you too.
Yeah, smash the like. Smash the like. You got 30 seconds to smash the like. Okay. Hope you wash your hands or whatever you had to do. Smash the like.
You're so stupid.
Oh, okay, you guys. You had an opportunity to come in here. You know, we have a lot of people in here. I know you only see. I don't know what you'll see. I know when we leave here, it's looking lovely. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are following both pages. Make sure you follow Attorney Shabazz as well as mine. Just don't come in here lurking in the bushes. Show some love, show some support. Let's see, is the my Cash App up?
No, don't send Dennis no Cash Apps.
Hold on. Let me
Dennis jealous now. Now you jealous.
Let me mute her right now because make sure you hit the. Dude, I don't hear what you're saying. Are you saying that I cannot hear what you're saying? Make sure you redirect her Cash Apps over here. I don't hear nothing she's saying. You got something in your mouth? I can't hear you. I really can't hear you. Anyway.
Hear this? Hear this? Making me show my name. I need a manicure in the worst way. Oh my God. But
since no one wants to come up, that's okay. This has been a great show anyway, and as always, I appreciate your presence for bringing your legal strength to this conversation, and we're going to see if that's actually a hearing on the 20th.
We'll see. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you for having me. You know, I am always blessed to be used, and I'm happy to be able to share my insights with my family because I love y'all. I really do. It's your girl Ike here. Hi. Hey. All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Y'all be good.
Be good, everyone. Peace.
All right.
Fooled you. I'm still here. Had to get out of here. I'm going to hold on a second, guys. I'm going to see if now that she left, I want to see if anyone has any questions for me. Anyway, she's left. I dropped the link. I'm gonna drop the link again. Hold on. I'm gonna drop the link again. There you go. Drop the link. I dropped the link. Click on the link. You have a question. Dee, what's up, Dee? Dee Dee, what's up? Yeah, we are not on the backup channel, but I do have a backup channel, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know, I have a backup channel that I go on there and talk my ish, and I'm a little more raw over there. But if you follow me, make sure you follow me on. Let me type it. I guess I need to type it in. I need to grab the link. I'm going to post the link. I don't know if I should post it today. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, today's a very special day. One of my clients, the lovely Bambi from Love and Hip Hop, has a magazine release party, and I shot the cover. And the party is tonight in Atlanta. Yes, Bambi from Love and Hip Hop has gotten the cover from Urban's Signature magazine. She got the cover, and I shot the cover. And her release party is tonight, and I will be in the building. It's going down in Atlanta. If you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you reach out to me, and maybe I can get you a ticket or two to be at the party. Yes, tonight is going down. I'm probably gonna bring Bambi up to talk about it. Let me see if I can get Bambi on the phone. Let me see if I can grab Bambi and get on the phone. Let's see here. Let me see if I can grab Bambi and get her on the phone. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see where she's at here. Give her a heads up. Hmm. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. Okay. Okay. She can't, for some reason, she just said she can't go live. I don't know. I should send her a link. Hold on. I'm gonna send her a link. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me send her the link. How will I do this? Yo, Daryl. I can't speak to that, but there's some very beautiful ones in the office. I will say that. I will say that. But we'll see. Okay, let's see. I'm on her stream, so we can't see it. Okay, so we're gonna end it and come back up with a another stream. But seriously, guys, I appreciate you. I really do. Make sure you are following, subscribing, and just support the platform because that's what it's about: supporting the platform, helping the platform grow, helping the platform get to the next level. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going for real. We out.